longer about how you're making stuff, but instead it's about how you're marketing it. Today on this episode, we have someone special who's the master of marketing and tech. Welcome to a brand new episode of Story Makers, where we delve into the minds and insights of industry leaders who are shaping future. Welcome. My name is Shefta Khan. We have someone really special who's the master of marketing, Mr. Marcio, who is the chief marketing officer at Stenn. Hello, Mr. Marcio. He's a master of storytelling and he's been working in the field of fintech and technology. Hello, sir. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling great. Thank you so much for having me today.
Yeah. The first and foremost thing I would like to ask now, when you are in India, what's that first thing that you have had when you landed here?
Well, absolutely first thing I had is food. I love spicy food.
If
you find the best spicy food here in India,
yeah,
I go directly, to the best restaurant I can find, to connect to my friends and they take me to eat some great Indian food. It's the first thing I do as I arrive.
Great to hear that you like spicy food, and the first time I'm hearing from someone outside across the borders who's saying this, that they love spicy food, which is good to hear that. Sir, you have an impressive career in both Silicon Valley and global markets. Could you just walk us through from the early molds and technology to become the CMO at Stenn?
Listen, from my early days, I was born in Brazil and I lived most of my life in the Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons why I was attracted to the Silicon Valley, San Francisco, in California, it was a great place for people that wanted to try something new and to take risks, right? Which technology enables you, to really think differently, to really explore and solve for problems that no other places could solve for. So that was very attractive to me. It was a very dynamic market. And that's the thing, what took me to San Francisco, where I was able, to start small technology companies back in the early 2000s, very, very early days of the big tech boom. But I was able to also get a specialization there with a couple of master's degrees. But if anything, that what took my career to the next level. And I naturally ended up in marketing. I always been very much of a communicator. I like engaging. I like building an audience. But very much working with data and technology as well. So there was a match made in heaven in San Francisco.
Absolutely. I mean, the risk takers are the money makers of now, and we have an example sitting right here. Moving forward, Stenn has rapidly grown into a leading capital platform for global commerce. Please share us more about company's global mission and how it has evolved over the period of time.
I mean, our global mission is to give an opportunity for everyone to get access to capital, for entrepreneurs to grow. That has been our mission from the get-go, from the start, is how do we help, especially small businesses, with access to capital. And our vision is to enable the access to capital through technology. As you know, not a lot of companies have access to money to grow, especially if you're working with big banks, which really value working with large organizations. And how do you really equalize the market is by building technology that gives access to finance to those small businesses, which likewise won't have access through, with traditional sources as banking. So from the day one, that has been the Stenn mission and vision. And this is why we're spending a lot of time, especially on the technology side of the house.
So like you said, you invest in small markets. What made you think investing in small markets? I feel there's a lot more risk evolved with time.
Yes, there's a lot more risk, but there's a lot more gain as well. Listen, my entire career I have worked with small businesses. And what I like about that is enabling those small businesses to be in pair with the large organizations. So there's something there in relation to just helping those entrepreneurs, to be able to have a fair chance in the market, right? When it comes to risk methodologies, this is where the technology comes in. And we strongly believe that by managing the data properly, by applying AI, by really going a little deeper, we're actually we're helping those small businesses by giving them the right flexibility in terms of capital,
Correct.
for us to understand, the risk at scale and globally.
Correct.
So it's a good match, and it's helping us, to be able to scale and serve those small businesses.
Absolutely. That's such good thought of you and Sten as well, of investing in small businesses like no one else do, like Sten, how they are doing in today's market. Like you just mentioned about the balance, I would like to just ask, one of the major challenges businesses face in accessing to working capital, especially across borders, like how you're investing in India, have come to India, Sten. How does Sten addresses these cash flow changes?
Yes, there's a few ways of addressing the cash flow changes. First of all, you have to have access to capital, which is really important.
Absolutely.
And this is one of our key strengths.
Yeah.
We have a vast access to capital. We're backed up by major institutions,
Yeah.
major financial institutions across
Yeah.
the world. So the access to capital help us navigate the needs of the local market, right?
Correct.
And on top of that, for small businesses in India, they are looking to get, they need access to capital very rapidly, very, just easy access,
Yeah.
but very fast.
Correct.
Which is really important, especially for the new exporters that are coming by.
Yeah.
They're getting massive orders. They're asked to fulfill a number of different orders, but in order to be able to grow and fulfill those orders, you need
Correct.
rapid access to capital. And that's the gap that we're fulfilling in India. And we strongly believe that we're not just here, to provide capital to our customers, but to really to be a partner to them and
Yeah.
help them grow their export business issues,
Yeah.
which is a major opportunity for the businesses in India.
Lovely to hear that. I'm sure there are many and many success stories, but I would like to ask, please share one of such many success stories with us of Sten today in business market of India.
Of course, I mean, there's many success stories. One it comes to mind immediately is a company that was selling masks, to the US specifically, and they were struggling to fulfill their order. They got a small order to start with from a buyer in the US,
Okay.
a major buyer in the US.
Okay.
A simple order, about $20,000, but the
All
next
right.
order was up to $1.5 million, I believe, to fulfill the order in terms of buying the material.
That's a huge number.
It's a huge number if you're moving from $20,000 to $1 million to fulfill the order. The company was extremely excited because
Yeah.
that would take their company to the next level, the supplier to the next level.
Truly.
This is where Sten came in.
Yeah.
This is where we came in to support that supplier immediately. I believe it took us less than 24 hours to get the credit line that they needed to fulfill the order and maintain their relationship with their buyer in the US. I believe now they're in the millions of dollars
Yeah.
of that trade with their buyer in the West, and they're expanding, I think, to Europe. So the point here is, this is a great example that an SME had a major opportunity to step up on the exporter side of the house, but they need a little bit of a push. I need a little bit of a help and a great partner in place to help them on the long term. And
Absolutely.
that's where we came in.
And such so that communication is also needed to converse between the market and the global leaders. Absolutely. I feel, what about the across borders? Is it the same there?
Cross borders, you meaning China and other markets?
Apart from India.
Apart from India?
Yeah.
Yes, there's lots of opportunities globally. Sten is really focusing to unifying global finances.
Global finances.
Yes, which is extremely hard. And I don't think a lot of companies have done right, if any companies have done right.
Yeah.
So we work with China, we work with US, of course, EMEA, European markets, basically across the globe.
Yeah.
We support 74 different countries at this stage, which is massive and huge. And we're just adding more countries over time. So it's all about this unification of finances. And each market has their different needs, of course. But there's a few similarities, which is really small businesses looking to grow.
Yeah.
And that's the gap that we're fulfilling in all these different markets.
74 is a big number,
It's a big number, yes.
And that's what makes Sten a revolutionary business opportunity in the market of India today, I feel.
Yes,
You
connecting.
You guys are doing great. I mean, well, you are the Chief Marketing Officer at Sten. Please tell us about your journey from Silicon Valley to the CMO at Sten today.
Yes, of course. Again, I always work in technology. Most of my life, I've been working in technology.
Yeah.
And one of the things I love about technology is it helps solve for problems.
Yeah.
So most of my career, I've worked with companies that were solving for the small business owners, either with the support they needed, for their marketing, for their sales, all the technology pieces
Correct.
they need. And one piece that I haven't, worked with was really finance.
Correct.
So I have built my career in marketing from a local marketer in the Silicon Valley, really expanding my marketing skills across America, EMEA, and globally. I have worked with the India market for the past 15 years, different companies across different regions, which has always been exciting.
My goodness.
So when Sten came by over conversation with me about their opportunities and their challenges in marketing, I got extremely excited. First of all, they're working with India, one of my favorite markets. But number two, they wanted to leverage technology to support and build access to capital for small businesses. And that for me was something that was really, really interesting and important, that there was that vision, how to support the small businesses. And for me, then naturally, it was a natural fit. And from a marketing perspective, I just get excited about global expansion, connecting with people, and building a great audience. So it just became like a natural next step for me.
Beautifully spoken. I feel your excitement made a successful career throughout, and that's why we call you the master of marketing and tech, no doubt. India, like you said, is a revolutionary market, and we all know it's a developing country, and it has a lot more opportunities in the coming future and rapidly growing. For fintech, what does future holds for Sten in India?
There's a bright future for Sten in India. There's two layers of that I think of the bright future. One is technology. We're going to introduce more products for the market to help not just currently with the exporters and suppliers, but also the e-commerces, which is a massive market that's growing tremendously here in India.
Right.
So there's a set of number of products that we will be introducing to the market. And then other ends are investments locally. We're hiring more people, which is really important. We're opening new offices. We have set strong capital for the market, between 500 million and $1 billion just for the Indian companies.
Wow.
So we're really setting ourselves here, our presence in the market, from the perspective of commercial, but also very much the technology that we're investing locally to support the businesses.
Beautiful. How has the response been so far?
The response has been fantastic. The market is reacting very positively. We are growing our market base very rapidly here locally. And people are just excited to work with us. They have a number of new ideas, and we're excited to also work with them and keep evolving what we offer in our offering to support them.
I'll tell you something. Indians are generally very excited about everything. They have new ideas coming up every single morning. They just need somebody to execute it on a daily basis. And Sten is a great opportunity for them. And people who are watching our podcast today, they will relate and they will somewhere try to understand that why Sten is a revolutionary for all of them in global market today.
Makes a lot of sense. I'm excited that, culturally, everyone is very creative, have a lot of ideas. I think every person here then is a marketer, because it's all about being innovative. It's all about having those ideas, and it's about execution as well.
Execution right.
Very, very important execution. But we're here to help execute a lot of that for our friends and our partners and clients locally. It's a big part of our job.
So how do you plan to expand your presence in future support for Indian businesses and in the coming years?
Yes, absolutely. Again, establishing new products, to support the local businesses, but really being a partner to help those businesses to start exporting more.
Exporting.
Right? Exactly. Focusing on their growth, export goals, Make in India, which is a fantastic campaign happening right now. So really being a partner to help those industries, companies to find those buyers in the West. It's a part of our job here as well. So we want to take the next step to just help companies to expand.
So like you have future plans of expansion as a business marketer, as a CMO at Sten. I would like to know that one product that you think has a potential to just invade the external market outside India. That one product from you I would like to know.
One product related to fintech specifically. Which I think is a great one. I truly believe we have a product that we started a pilot in the US called revenue-based financing, which really helps e-commerces with support their growth. And this goes beyond just your supplier chain.
Okay.
It really helping them with the marketing, campaigns, really funding a lot of elements that's really important for the business. If you think about a business, you have your marketing, you have your sales, you have your supply chain, and it all has to come together. And it's a combination of those things, for growth.
Yeah.
That product, we're seeing early success in the US. We're seeing a lot of engagement. We're seeing hundreds of companies engaging with us. I think that product is going to be the future. And I think that product can be easily applied to the Indian market, where we can really have us around a full house of financing to help support your growth across the board, not just your supply chain, but, financing your marketing, especially. That's how we know it takes a few dollars to finance your marketing.
Of course, not a few. I mean, the number is huge.
The number is huge. Now it comes back to execution and having the funds to be able to grow your business. So I strongly believe on that product, and I strongly believe in the expansion of that product globally as a great next step. And the last thing I'll say on top of that is AI. It's a big word, a big conversation around AI, of course, but AI is what's going to enable us to take smarter decisions behind these products that we're launching, right? To help the companies to understand and identify where they should be investing their money as well.
Absolutely.
So it's a connection between those two things, right? The product itself, but the technology and the intelligence behind.
And AI specifically.
And AI specifically to help you make the right decisions very, very quickly, which normally now it takes a lot of time, a lot of engagement, a lot of money to find the right solutions. So I think the product's going to be well-rounded and the future.
Yeah. Wonderfully said. Now we have just come to an end to our today's episode and podcast. So with your vast experiences in both marketing and leadership, just right we heard on our today's podcast, what advice would you like to give to budding entrepreneurs in the fintech space?
I actually would say take a risk, which is an interesting word to be used in fintech, especially.
Yeah.
I think the market is vast. I think the market is changing dramatically. I think technology is really going to drive the change on the market. So if you have an idea, if you have even a concept of an idea, don't be afraid to take a risk to take to the next level. And I strongly believe, and this is maybe because I lived in Silicon Valley for so many years, I strongly believe that, failing and taking risks is where you learn the fastest, right?
Absolutely.
That's really what's going to make, the difference for you to really understand what is the best, trajectory to take as a business.
Truly.
So I think is extremely important for entrepreneurs, especially nowadays, with so much technology available for everyone.
Correct. So do you agree with the statement that risk takers are the money makers?
I absolutely agree with that statement.
Okay. So now I want you and both of us to say this out loud on the camera and for the viewers watching out on today's podcast together, that we are going to say that risk takers are the money makers.
Sounds good. Yes.
In 3, 2, 1. Risk takers are the money makers. Wonderful. I am thinking that they must be getting some push and they will definitely apply to their future entrepreneurial journey. Yeah. So in our world of business, opportunities don't happen. We create them.
That is correct.
Marcio, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on our today's podcast. Trust me, it's been wonderful talking to you. And thank you for coming. And I hope India is treating you well.
It is treating me great. Thank you so much for having me. And I'm looking forward to come back very soon.
We wish you and Stenn all the luck and success for your future endeavors.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So this was all for today's podcast. I hope you had an insightful thought from today's episode. I'll be back with another insightful story. Till then, keep watching Story Makers. I am your host, Shefta Khan, and we'll see you soon.